Set your clients up for success with each and every session, with each and every client, so that you become that hypnotist that truly transforms your clients' lives, makes a difference, and helps them as fast as possible. So, for today's live, we are talking about setting our clients up for success and really talking about the typical things that can happen with our clients, even after our sessions or during the sessions, so that they can be as compliant as they can be in the therapeutic process that we are helping them with, and so that they can really achieve the results that they want moving forward. So today I'll answer three questions with regards to the normal challenges and difficulties we may have with regards to working with clients, and the difficulties that our clients can potentially have as well when working with us, especially if we have been trained in the traditional sense. So let us begin. First question is, my client says it didn't work, or I don't see any changes after the work we did together. What do we do? This is a great question, and I want to normalize this because we have had experiences in our career with regards to it not working. So, the first thing that we really want to do is approach it very methodically. That's the word, methodically. And what does your client mean by it didn't work? And what do you think it means what for yourself when you're inside your sessions and you're thinking it doesn't work? This can get so complex, and not a lot of people are talking about this, right? Because we have this expectations as hypnotists in our mind as to what looks like for it to work. Meaning, is it the hypnosis? Like, are we trying to hypnotize our clients? And our metric for actually observing whether or not it work is whether or not they are hypnotized or suggestible. Is that what we're looking at when we're saying that it's not working? Is that what the client is also thinking about in terms of it's not working? I didn't feel hypnotized. It's not what I thought it was going to be, hypnosis, right? And this can get very, very messy, especially if our messaging is all about the hypnosis, right? I'm going to hypnotize you to be able to get rid of your anxiety for good. That messaging gets very, very tricky and can set up our clients to expect to be hypnotized instead of what's more important, which is get them results. So you really want to think about that and explore that with your clients. Like, what do they mean it didn't work? The hypnosis, it wasn't what they expected. I definitely 100% had this with a very, very old client, very early in my career, where she expected it to feel different. So she didn't think that the session worked because she wasn't hypnotized as she expected. But truth of the matter is she had amazing results in her personal life from that session, but she just couldn't see it. And I don't think up till this day, this client actually has seen the transformation from that session because her mind was in the process of, I need to be hypnotized, which was also my complete responsibility. That was also my fault for not, first of all, for not knowing any better. And second of all, which is not really a fault, but just a phase that I was in. But really, I also didn't explain well the expectations, and also I was too focused on the hypnosis instead of the result. So really, how I'm gonna tie this question up is that if a client say it didn't work, explore it first. That's what you want to do. Is there a mismatch expectation on hypnosis? That's why in our advanced conversational hypnosis trainings, we never focus on the hypnosis. Like, I'm going to hypnotize you, client, to be this before they are onboarded with us. It is all about results. We are results driven. I'm going to help you with your long-term anxiety as fast as possible. So instead of you going 10 out of 10 anxiety every single day, 8 to 10 out of 10 anxiety, you will be down to whatever they want. You will be down to 2, you will be down to 1. on terms of a scale in anxiety, that's what I'm going to help you with as fast as possible. Are you good with that? And that becomes the metric to see if the work you did together actually worked. It's based on a result. And so moving forward, shift into that like as fast as you can, because these are the metrics that actually count, not the hypnosis, not the changes. And also, if they are saying that they're not seeing any changes, is that 100% true, right? You want to have a conversation with your clients and say, okay, so what has actually happened? If your anxiety was 8 out of 10, what is it now? And if it has gone down to like 7 from 8 to 10, that is still a change, right? We want to, reassure our clients that this is part of the process. Sometimes it does take time for that to go down, depending on the clients. It's part of the normal processing. So you want to approach this with your client more of a curiosity and of a curiosity standpoint, and have them actually be present, stop and think about things, because as humans, we make up all these conclusions. We're go, go, go. We're not really realizing the growth that we've had sometimes, right? And that could be the case. For this client, and if it is the case, and you say, okay, so what actually happened? What are your anxiety levels now? And they say, oh, it's actually a 5 today, and it's been a 5 for a week. Well, that goes to show that there's an actual change, right? So you want to reinforce that and congratulate your client. No, you're actually making changes. Like, that is a good thing. And also, something to add on top of this is, if for some reason their client, like, there's minimal changes, like sometimes instead of them being 8 to 10, they're more 8 and they want to progress faster, just have maybe we just didn't do a good job in the session, right? That is fine. We are human. We mess up. Or not always perfect, right? So you also just want to take responsibility for it and just have another session, work on it and work on the things, and really investigate your client's problem at a deeper level. Because if it actually didn't work, if there are no changes despite to the things that I've just talked about, then it could be that we really didn't get to the root of the problem first, or we did not test our clients to ensure that it worked. So that is it for that answer to that question. Next question is, do you have tips for clients who don't listen to the audios that I give them? Yeah. So before I was trained in conversational hypnosis, um, this is what I used to do. I used to really educate them with regards to the importance of the recording, because that's what I used to believe, that it helps them rewire this in their unconscious mind. I no longer believe that. So what I'm trying to say here is that if that is the method that you were trained in, and if it's part of the package, which for me it was, part of the package was to give my clients a recording, and tips to help them is, first of all, educating them with regards to the importance, if you haven't done that already. And then second, I would I would explore as to why they're feeling resistant with the recording. Is there something in that recording that they actually don't like? Is it the timing of it? Are they just people who are just really busy and don't have time for it? Now, people are going to argue and say that, if you really want the change, you got to make time, right? And so that's why it's important with exploring this to your clients. Is it they're not making time, or is it because they don't want, or they don't like something from that recording that is not giving them, they're not liking something in the recording, and because of that they're not making time to listen to it. So you want to think about it in that way too, and just look at this as feedback as well. Are you explore that with your client to see what it is, because then you can find a resolution together. And you also really want to look at this in a big picture perspective. if you have clients who are not listening to the recording, like what are the percentages? What are your percentages for people actually listening religiously to their recording? Mine was very low, even though my recording was real nice. My recordings were real good. Okay. They had the nice binaural beats, solfeggio music behind them. And it had contained the words that my clients wanted to hear. They were really personalized, but I would say only 30% of my clients actually listened to it every day and actually admitted that. The rest didn't listen to it every day. And that is feedback that is actually something you want to consider, because if only 30%, like this is my statistics, right? If only 30% listen to the recording, why the hell am I doing it? That's a really low. That's a really low percentage. And even though the clients who didn't listen to recording, they still had results, right? So this is really where your mind wants to go. And I encourage your mind to go. Like if the 70% who didn't listen to a recording still got results, is the recording necessary? That's what you want to think about, because your time is precious, right? You don't want to feel exhausted all the time creating these personal audios that are not being listened to. What's the point? So these are the really high level things that you want to think about. But very, very basic. If you want your clients, it's part of your process. If you want them to listen, definitely do some education and explore exactly why they're not listening to it. Is it the quality? Is it the time? They're not making time. Why are they not making time? Or is it because they've received the results that they paid you for and it's absolutely like they're good, right? Like they don't need it because you've done a great job. This is something that you want to look at, and from a business perspective and time perspective for you and mental health perspective, look at it in a sense of, okay, what is this actually helping my clients? Is this worth the time to continue on in my business moving forward? Because time is our most valuable asset, and why would you waste 1 to 2 hours per client creating the audio that only 30% will listen to? That was the thing that I reflected on when I used the audios. So that's why I ditched them and ditched all the techniques and used conversational hypnosis instead. Last question. I have an analytical client who talks and talks and talks. Yeah, I get it. What do you do to keep the conversation on the right track? Interruption. That is the most simple answer to that question. Interrupt your clients. And people don't like this. I don't like doing it either. But like with everything, we get used to it. And interrupting our clients can seem rude. And some people are going to think it's rude, but there is obviously a respectful way to interrupt, right? If you're being a dick interrupting, that is different. But inside your sessions, you are the facilitator, right? And if you can see the path going the wrong way, it is up to you to redirect it the right way. So if a client talks and talks and talks and it's non-contextual and they're just going around in a loop, interrupt them. And this was something that I actually had to learn because I was not comfortable with this at first, but once I am very comfortable with it now, and I do interrupt, even in in the training sessions we have in conversational hypnosis. These Once you actually are okay with this and are confident in yourself with doing this, the clients are actually appreciative, and it's actually very good for our clients to be interrupted out of that thought loop pattern. So there's a reason why they came to us, right? But that over analysis, that overthinking, that has kept them stuck. And if we interrupt that, we are actually doing them a great service. We are actually helping them out. So think about it that way. Don't be rude, of course. Don't be a dick and interrupt. Just be curious. And I'll give you an example. A client says, I have this anxiety, my thoughts are racing, my thoughts are going blah, 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 blah. And inside our sessions, inside our advanced conversational hypnosis sessions, we are trained to look for unconscious expressions. And maybe I have heard they're going in a loop, and I've heard something really juicy that is an unconscious expression. Maybe it is a belief or a conflict that they've had that was laced into that thought loop that they just talked themselves through. Instead of them continuing that thought loop, I would interrupt them and say, "Hey, hold on. You said this. What did you mean by that?" That's it. That is how I would interrupt. And that really catches a client off guard, because if you can hear unconscious information, it's unconscious, so they don't realize they're actually talking and saying it. That will catch them off guard, and that can really help you get to that breakthrough faster. Because imagine, like, I'm just talking here, blah, 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 blah. I'm overthinking. I'm so anxious. This is my problem, blah, 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 blah. And then somehow my hypnotist in front of me goes, "Wait, you said this. What do you mean by that?" By doing that, that'll catch me off guard and will help me start to think about that question. Oh, I said that. I don't even realize I said that. What does that mean? Now I'm going off in a trance and really thinking about what I need to be thinking about. Um, or if I do realize that I said it, I'll actually start taking my time to think about that answer, to really think about the root of that anxiety or whatever the presenting problem is. And that's how your clients are going to feel like when we interrupt them. So really is just about practicing. It's about growing those balls to interrupt a very analytical client, to talk and talk and talk, very compassionately, obviously. And again, how I said, there's many different ways you can say it, but this is the easiest way, where you can just say, "Hey, you said this before. What did you mean by that?" Just doing that, that is going to interrupt that overthinking. And sometimes that could still lead to overthinking, but you're more likely to interrupt that, have them pause, think about that overthinking, really reduce and discharge the energy around that overthinking, so that they can pause and actually think about the question. So that's how I would keep the conversation on track, by really picking up what is important within that rant. So they're going to rant and they're going to loop. You pick up the important information within that rant, and then interrupting your clients and asking them the questions that is relevant to the context, is what's going to help the conversation moving forward instead of looping. And that's why this is a skill set, right? And learning what to actually focus on is a skill. We call these unconscious moments, spotting the unconscious moments and growing them and utilizing them. These are the basic principles. And so once you actually learn how to do that, then it can make working with analytical clients a very, very effective and very fun. So I hope that this helped, and the detail within these three questions are very helpful for you to have inside your next sessions, and have the little action steps that you can take today to make your hypnosis sessions a lot more transformational. Any questions at all, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you later. Let's make a massive impact together, one conversation at a time.